Good morning, children. Welcome to physics class, lesson number 1, lecture number 2. We are learning reflection of light at curved surfaces. How are you, children? I hope you all are doing good. In last class, we have learned reflection of light at curved surfaces, basic definitions, laws of reflection we have learned, incident ray, reflected ray, normal, pole, center of curvature, radius of curvature definitions, and we also learned how to draw a normal on a curved surface. And in last lecture I gave you 3 questions as homework. I hope you all done with it. Let's have a quick solutions for those questions. First question is given as angle of incidence and angle of reflection is equal to 0. For which condition of the incident ray is it possible? See, this question can be done from the basic definition of angle of incidence. Angle of incidence is nothing but angle between incident ray and normal. Angle between any two lines can be 0 when two lines fall on each other. That means one line superimpose the other. Here, normal always makes 90 degrees. You can see it is a plane surface, normal, the blue colored one, and incident ray is falling the normal, so that downward direction indicates green color, incident ray, and incident ray is on the normal, so angle between them we cannot find out because there is nothing is there angle is 0. Angle between incident ray and normal is 0, that is angle of incidence is 0. And the reflected ray also, it is not deviating, it is retracing its path, so angle of reflection also 0. In the figure you can notice incident ray, reflected ray, normal, all are lying on the same line. Not only on the same plane, they are lying on the same line. So there is no angle between these lines. This question in board point of view asked many times. One of the form of the question is, if the incident rays fall along the normal, what is the angle of reflection? What is the value of angle of reflection? And draw the reflected ray. Reflected ray do not get deviated. Angle of incidence and angle of reflection both are equal to 0 as shown in the figure. So try to remember incident ray falling on the normal, then there is no deviation in the reflected ray. Reflected ray also retraces its path. It is here shown only plane surface, but even on curved surface also you will find the same. If it is a curved surface, on the normal if it is falling, incident ray, it retraces its path. There is no deviation in the reflected ray. You need to understand this point, very important point in board point of view. And the second question is given as, if you consider a semisphere as a spherical mirror and draw a tangent at a point, what is the angle between tangent and radius? And what is the name given to that radius in basic reflection concept? Recall to the geometry. While learning about circles and tangents, you may have learned that a radius is always perpendicular to the tangent to the circle drawn at the point. Tangent always touches at single point on the curve line, on the curve. So here from the figure you see the tangent is a straight line here, and this is a center of curvature or C, center of the sphere also you can consider. So the line joining from this point to center of curvature we can call it as a radius. If it is a sphere, it is a center of curvature because the center of the sphere from where the mirror is apart is called center of curvature. The distance between circumference to center is called radius, and this radius is touching. At the point of touching, you draw tangent. So the tangent is making 90 degrees angle. With the geometry we can say this. Suppose if you take a radius here, you can take radius here also, even you can take radius here also. If you take this radius and you need to draw tangent here, then also it will make 90 degrees angle only. So that it is making 90 degrees angle. The second part of the question is, what is that radius can be called in optics? This radius can be called as normal. Why it is called as normal? Because from the definition of normal, the point on the curved surface is joined to the center of curvature. So when a point is joined to the center of curvature on any point on the mirror is called as normal from the definition of normal, and always it is making 90 degrees angle with the tangent. So from that definitions we can consider this radius is normal. I hope you understood. I repeat once again, the radius is making 90 degrees angle with the tangent. From that definition also we can call this as normal. If it is not, take another definition. If you take a point on any curved surface and join to the center of curvature, that is also called normal. So in that case also we can call it as a radius as a normal. If you consider this is a point and this is a spherical mirror. This point is what? Midpoint of the mirror, right? The midpoint of the mirror is called as what? Pole. The line joining pole and center of curvature is called what? That horizontal line which is joining pole and center of curvature is called as principal axis. So in this condition we can say principal axis also, and also normal. But if you consider radius of curvature from here to here, then we cannot call it as principal axis. Can anybody say why we cannot call this radius as principal axis? When this radius can be called as a principal axis, why not this radius? Some of you telling the answer. That's good. This radius is not called as a principal axis because, yes, you are right, because this point is not pole. This point is not midpoint. If you take this only semisphere in this direction, this is the point only midpoint of the mirror. So this only called as pole. So the distance between pole and center of curvature is only called as, the line joining the pole and center of curvature only called as principal axis. So in this figure, according to this figure, from this diagram, we can say this is normal and also principal axis. But if you take any radius here, we cannot call it as principal axis, but we can call it as normal because it is making 90 degrees angle with the tangent. I hope you understood. Only this question can be learned from only normal definition. This answer can be learned only from angle of incidence. That's it. Let us go for the third question. The third question, in the last class we have learnt about only incident ray passing parallel to principal axis. Only one ray we have taken and we see what is its reflected ray. And the question is asked, draw more parallel lines, not single line. In the last class we have learned only single line is drawn there. But in this class, draw more lines and see what is happening when the parallel beam of light falling on concave mirror, making an angle with normal, what is the image? So that is the question. So when parallel beam of light here, reflected incident ray 1, incident ray 2, incident ray 3, incident ray 4. 4 incident rays are taken here and each one is making some angle with the normal 1. Second incident ray making angle with the normal 2. Third incident ray is making with normal 3. Fourth incident ray is making angle with normal 4. So all of the incident rays are making some angle with the normals. But they are, yes, parallel to principal axis. Incident rays are parallel to principal axis, but they are making some angle with the normals. This is given data. And our reflected rays are like this, reflecting towards the normal. This is called converging point. The converging point of all these rays called as focus. In next topic we are going to learn about these definitions. This is focus. Clear everybody? Focus. The converging point of Reflected rays is called as focus. Then what about center of curvature? This is also a point. The converging point of all the normals also we can say. It is a center of curvature. Other definition also there for center of curvature. The center of the sphere from where the mirror is apart. So these are the solutions for the previous lecture homework. Let's start our today's class with the last solution. Here you can see parallel beam of light. And the next concept or next topic is how to obtain parallel beam of light practically or experimentally. Very easy question this is. For this, to do this activity, we require some materials. Let us see the question. How to obtain parallel beam of light with the help of an activity. Materials required for this is 2 pins, 2 thermocol blocks, candle, source of light. Fix 2 pins on a thermocol block. The pins are parallel to each other. When a source of light is kept near, we see the shadows diverging. As we move the source of light away from the pins, we will get parallel shadows. As we move candle far away from pins, we see parallel shadows, but light intensity becomes low. Let's see from the diagram for the easy understanding. To understand easily, let us see this diagram. The blue color one is thermocol, and upon thermocol there are 2 pins stuck here, and the 2 pins are parallel to each other, and a little distance maintained between candle and the thermocol block, and see the shadow. This activity must be done in dark room without light. Only candle should be there. Then we notice 2 divergent pins as shadow, where the pins on the thermocol are parallel to each other, but we see the shadow as divergent beams. And the next block, in the next case, if you take the candle away from thermocol block, we see the parallel beams, parallel shadow. If you take the candle more away from the previous position, we see the parallel beam, but we do not see the bright shadow. We see the intensity of light is low. Even this activity you can do when the power is not there in your house. Let your sister or brother hold pencils or 2 pens parallel to each other. Ensure that pens should be parallel to each other. And keep a candle in front of it and observe the shadow. When you keep the candle near pencils, you see the shadows are diverged. When you keep moving the candle away from the pencils, then you see the parallel beam of light. So to obtain parallel beam, the main ambition for this activity is what? To obtain parallel beam of light. How to obtain parallel beam of light? So to obtain parallel beam of light, we need to check with the 2 conditions. One condition is the source of light should be far, and the other condition, source of light intensity should be high. If the intensity is low, we do get parallel beam shadow, but we do not get more intensity of light. So maintaining more intensity of light and having a far distance, keeping a distance away from the object is the second condition. These are the 2 conditions can be possible. With these 2 conditions, it is possible to obtain parallel beam of light. Let's see the next concept. If the parallel beam of light is falling on concave mirror, what will happen? To study the image formation by sun rays when parallel beam of light fall on concave mirror and convex mirror. We already learned from the previous topic sun rays. Sun is the source where it is maintaining distance along from us, from every object, and also the intensity of light is more. So sun is the source of light where we can get parallel beam of light. So here we are taking sun as the object. Parallel beam of light is falling on concave mirror. Then we see the parallel beam of light getting converged at focus. And maybe in your 6th, 7th, 8th classes, everybody have done this activity, I believe. With the help of magnifying glass you have done it. So same experiment, what you have done, take a magnifying glass, focus on your palm or some paper. If you keep coming near to the paper, within few seconds the paper caught the fire. Why paper is catching fire? Because all of the rays are converged, meeting at one point, and there the intensity of heat and light is higher, so the paper caught the fire. That means intensity of light is more and even the heat is also more. Here also same thing. This is concave mirror. Hold a concave mirror such that the sunlight falls on it. Take a small paper and slowly move it in front of the mirror and try to notice the point where we get the smallest and brightest spot. That is the image of the sun. Take a concave mirror, keep a paper near to it. So sunrays fall on concave mirror and reflects back like this. And the reflecting point, they all will meet here. This meeting point already we have learnt, that is called focus. At this focus what will happen, here it is a single ray, here it is a single ray, all are single rays, but when they get reflected by concave mirror, all the reflected rays are meeting at one particular point. So if a single ray is fall, nothing will happen because intensity of light is very less, heat is also less, so nothing will happen. But when all of the reflected rays are meeting at one point, we see the intensity of light and intensity of heat is also more. So sometimes if you continuously keep the paper in the same position, paper also may catch the fire. So that is the image of the sun. So wherever you find a bright spot, that spot is called image of the sun. Is the image of the sun is same size of the sun? No. The image of sun is very small. We can say diminished. Because if you consider sun is at the infinity, we get image at focus. The rays coming from the sun parallel to the principal axis of a concave mirror converge at this point. This converging point, this is called converging point. The converging point of all the reflected rays is called as focus. I hope everybody understand this lesson, this activity too. Hold a concave mirror such that the sunlight falls on it. Take a small paper and slowly move it in front of the mirror and try to notice the point where we get the smallest and brightest spot. That smallest and brightest spot is called as what? Image of the sun. So the object is considered as sun here. If you think the sun is at infinite distance, yes, it is infinity because we are not able to measure with the help of scale or meter. In optics, if any distance we cannot measure with the help of a scale or a meter scale, then that distance will be considered as infinity. For example, a tree away from our house, which we can see from the window, through the window, that tree is considered as infinity object. So the sun is obviously object at infinity. We consider sun as object, and object from the source of light, from the sun, rays are coming and falling on concave mirror and all are meeting at one point. That point is called as image of the sun. Right? Okay. I hope you understood this activity. Let us go the definition of focal point and focus. You need to learn these two definitions today itself. The point at which the reflected rays meet is called focus or focal point. You have seen in the diagram. If the reflected rays are meet at one point, that is called focus or focal point. Next one is focal length. The distance between pole and focus is called focal length. You know what is pole? The pole is nothing but the midpoint of the mirror. The distance between this pole and focus is called as what? The distance between pole and focus is called focal length. The distance between pole and center of curvature is called Yes, you are right. Radius of curvature. The line joining pole and center of curvature is called principal axis. You need to learn all these definitions. So, those are the two definitions from that activity. Next one, convex mirror. We have seen if parallel beam of light is falling on concave mirror, what would have happened? Now we are observing if the parallel beam of light is falling on convex mirror, what will happen? So this is a convex mirror and this is parallel beam of light. When a parallel beam of light falling on convex mirror, they will get diverge. Yesterday's activity we have learnt in lecture 1. When a foam is bent outward, all the normals diverged, right? Convex mirror diverges the reflected while reflecting. See, incident ray falling. This is convex reflected surface. You need to understand and remember it without any confusion. Inside is polished, outside acting as a reflecting surface. So on reflecting surface, incident rays are falling. Did you understand the difference between convex mirror and concave mirror? If inside is painting, this is convex mirror. Very important diagram this is, many times repeated in the exam. Concave mirror, easily anybody can draw concave mirror because it is just converging. See here, parallel beam of light falling on it and converging. All of them are meeting at focus. This is concave mirror. Why it is concave mirror? Because outside of the mirror is painted and inside surface is acting as mirror, reflecting surface. Cave shape surface is acting as reflecting surface. That's why it is concave mirror. This is convex mirror. Inside it is painted, outside surface acting as reflecting surface. So parallel beam of light falling on convex mirror and they get reflected. How they are reflecting? They are diverging, they are not converging. When you extended these rays backward, they meet at focus. These are called virtual image. Which virtual image is nothing but the image which cannot be obtained on screen. Real image is nothing but this is real image which can be obtained on screen. I hope you understood this. Extended rays are meeting. Actual reflecting rays are not meeting. Actual reflecting rays are deviating into different directions. But extended reflecting rays backward meeting at focus. That's the reason convex mirror can give only virtual image. We cannot obtain on screen. Let's see lab activity 2. The main aim for the lab activity is observing the type of images and measuring the object distance and image distance from the mirror. See, we have seen concave mirror in previous case. Parallel beam of light is falling on concave mirror and converged at where? Very good. It is converging at focus. Infinity. Sun is nothing but it is into infinity. Suppose if the object is at different positions, not at infinity, different positions, then what kind of images are we getting? Are all the images same size? Are all the images are same nature? What kind of images we are getting? We are going to observe with the help of concave mirror. To do this activity, we need to require the following material: a candle, a paper, concave mirror, V-stand, measuring tape. Whatever the concave mirror we have taken here, that concave mirror should be a known focal length concave mirror. Clear a material required? And this question is a 4-mark question in board point of view. Many times given in the exam. Very, very important. Let's see the procedure. How to do the procedure? This is for your notes sake I gave you. Pause it and write the classwork and try to learn the points. Let's see the procedure while looking at the diagram. If you look at the diagram, it is easy to understand. Later on, you can note down the points in the classwork, maintain a notes and get ready for the next class, right? Okay. See this is the arrangement of activity, lab activity. You can see here this is a candle and this is a screen and this is a screen holder and this is a V-shape holder, this is V stand, and the circle shape you are seeing now, this is concave mirror. So here you need to understand some again a little terminology. Candle, we don't call it as a candle. We know this is a source of light. In this lab activity, in all the classes like fourth chapter also we have a refraction. No, these in other lessons we call it as a source of light is called as object. This is called object. O and O dash you can consider. O is the base, O dash is the top. And this is object, candle, and this is a white sheet. We can say it as a screen. We will get the image on this. And this is a V stand and this is a concave mirror. And this pink color one is again stand here. These two are stands and this is a mirror scale. Scale is very important. So again here terminology is object distance, image distance. What is object distance? Very important question, Anna. 4-mark answer. Damn sure answer this is. Listen carefully. Very easy if you listen carefully. This is V stand. On V stand we are keeping one concave mirror. After keeping concave mirror, take a candle and keep it on a scale in a straight line. See here the distance between the mirror, or we can say pole, the midpoint of the mirror pole, the midpoint of the pole to object, we say it as object, is called as object distance. The distance between mirror to object is called as object distance. The distance between object and screen is called as image distance. The distance between object and screen is called as image distance. Image distance is denoted as V. Object distance is denoted as U. Important terminology. Object distance is U. Image distance is V. What is image distance? The distance between mirror and screen, or mirror and image. What is object distance? The distance between mirror and candle. I hope everybody is following. Good. So now what are we going to do with this? Let us take a concave mirror is of known focal length. That means we must know what is the focal length of the mirror, concave mirror, with what we are doing this experiment. So the concave mirror focal length, let us assume as 10 centimeter. Our experimental object distance must start as shown in the table between mirror and F. Our first observation number, you can see the tabular form here. Observation number, how many observations we are taking, and distance of the candle from mirror, distance of the candle from the mirror, and distance of the screen from the mirror. This is image size, enlarged or diminished. Enlarged means bigger, diminished means smaller. You can write it as a smaller. And image is inverted or erect, real or virtual. These are the nature and characteristics. These four are called characteristics of the image. I will let you know about this. Let's see, first one is distance of the candle from the mirror. Object distance we must set first. If you set object distance, you are not supposed to move any one of them, neither candle nor mirror. Here, what is the assumed focal length? 10 centimeter. So where we need to keep object? Between mirror and 10 centimeter. Here if you keep mirror, you need to see on the scale where is the 10 centimeter. Okay, for example, here somewhere. You have to keep candle here. Once 10 centimeter will you keep, or less than 10 centimeter? Less than 10. Why? Our first observation between mirror and F. Focal length 10 centimeter means focus is at 10 centimeter. That means between 10 centimeter we should take. Let us take 6 centimeter. Candle and object kept away from 6 centimeter each other. So we kept candle 6 centimeter. Now take the screen. It is reflect now, so we have to keep here screen and we'll get the image. We can see the image. If you see the image, you have to note down where you are getting the image. With the help of a scale, note down. And see the image is enlarged or diminished. It is enlarged, and it is enlarged means bigger than the actual size of the candle. And the next case we get virtual and erect. What are these terms called? Virtual, erect, enlarged, inverted. Inverted is nothing but, suppose object is like this, image will be like this. This is called inverted image. If the what is called erect image? If the object is like this, image also will be like this only. This is called erect image. Next one, what is real image? The image which can be obtained on the screen is called as real image. The real image is formed by actual intersection of reflected rays. What is virtual image? The image which cannot be obtained on the screen is virtual image. With actual intersection of rays, we cannot obtain virtual image. With the help of extended rays of reflected rays, we get the virtual image. These are the 4 natures or characteristics of the image. Let's see what kind of nature image we get when object is kept in between mirror and F. When object is kept between mirror and F, we get the image behind the mirror. We don't get in front of the mirror. We get the behind the mirror, and we see the image is enlarged, and see the image is virtual and erect. Virtual and erect is nothing but we cannot obtain on the screen. Let's see the second one. At focal point. If object is at focal point, already we have seen this in previous condition. Object is at we didn't see this. Object is at focal point, then we'll get image where? Infinity. In the previous condition, what we have seen, if object is infinity, this is sun rays coming from infinity, then we get image at focus. If the object is at focus, we get the image infinity. Very easy to remember. Object is at focal point. This is distance of the candle. Candle is nothing but what? Object. Object distance is what? Focal point. We need to keep the object at focal point. In this activity, what is our assumed focal length? Assumed focal length is 10 centimeter. So object is where? Object is at 10 centimeter. Now, when object is 10 centimeter, we get the image at infinity. We don't know where we will get also. So that's why it is given dash like this. Obviously it will be enlarged. So the next one, third condition, between F and C. What is called between F and C? If you consider this as a mirror, let me explain here. If you consider this as a mirror, okay, and this is pole, and this is for example F, and this is for example C. So where you need to keep the object according to the tabular form? Between F and C. So F is, let us take 10 centimeter. If F is 10 centimeter, C should be 20 centimeter. So where we need to keep the image according to this? Between F and C. That means 10 and 20. Between 15 centimeter if you keep, we will get the, here it is a scale in a picture. So keep the object at 15 centimeter. Then where we will get the image? Beyond C. Image will be beyond C will get. That means here the image will form after C. What is the size of the image? Enlarged. What is the nature of the image? Real and inverted. I hope you are getting. If you consider this is focal length and this is point C, focus and C, between F and C if you keep object, you will get the image how? Inverted image. And enlarged image you will get. Enlarged means very bigger image you will get. If you keep, what is the next condition? If you keep object at C, for example, if you keep object at C only, object is at C only, then where you get the image? Image also at C only, but image is how? Inverted image. Did you understand? If the object is at C, image also will be at C only. Size of the image is what? Same size. What is the image nature? Real and inverted. Inverted means like this, reverse. We will draw ray diagrams for all these conditions in the next class. Then you will understand more clearly. And last case is what? Beyond C. If you take object beyond C, then we will get image between F and C. What is the size of the image? Diminished. What is the nature of the image? Real and inverted. The nature of the image is real and inverted, and size of the image is diminished. That means the size of the image is smaller than the size of the object. Like that, we have to conduct the experiment. Once again, we will see between mirror and F, first condition. So we get behind the mirror and size is enlarged image, virtual and direct. Next, if you keep object at focal point, it is infinity. Suppose if you take the object at infinity, yes, image will be focal point. We have done in the previous experiment. If the object is between F and C, between focus and center of curvature, what is this F and C? F is nothing but focus, C is nothing but center of curvature. Then our image will be, and the candle image will be beyond C. That means center of curvature beyond will get. And image size is how it will be? Enlarged. And image nature will be real and inverted. If the object is at C, image is also on C only. What is the size of the image? Same size. And what is the nature? Real and inverted. Are you able to understand? If the object is at C, that means center of curvature, image also will be at the center of curvature only, and the size is same size. And what is the nature? Real and inverted. That means object is like this, image you will get like this. This is inverted. And last one, last case is beyond C. If you take object beyond the center of curvature, then you will get between F and C. If you clearly observe this, these two are reverse. If the object is between F and C, image will be beyond C. If the object is beyond C, image will be between F and C. Both are reverse. I think you got the point. Even this also. If the object is focal point, image distance will be infinity. Suppose if the object is at infinity, image distance will be focal point. Both are again opposite. Just crisscross. These two conditions also crisscross. This is between F and C is the object distance. Image distance is what? Beyond C. Here the object distance is beyond C. Image distance is what? Between F and C. Very easy 3 and 5 cases. Fourth is very much easy than these two. Because object is, if it is at C, image distance also we get only C only. And size is also very easy. Same size. No change. Real and inverted. We get the real image and we get the inverted image. What is the real image? The image which can be obtained on the screen. What is the inverted image? Image will be reversed. Next one. Here this is the activity. While doing this activity, we need to follow some precautions also. The precautions are like this. After adjusting the object distance, that means object and candle and mirror, once the distance is fixed, we should not change the positions, we should not move the positions, and after adjustment of the object distance u, we need to move only screen. Only screen is nothing but we can change image distance. How can we change? Until we get the clear image, we can change. Front we can come, back we can go, towards the mirror we can come, away from the mirror we can go. We can adjust in any way what you want. Until we get the clear image, you can change the position of the screen. This one we can change up to you get the clear and sharp image. Once you get the clear and sharp image, let it be here and find the position of the image distance from mirror to image, right? And this is the precaution you need to take. And result is this is all got result. In next class we are going to draw diagram, ray diagram for this all the cases, which is a very important question again. Let's see our homework today. Think and answer. Question number 4. In last lecture we have finished 3 questions. This is a lecture question number 4. The question number 4 is, what happens if you hold the paper at a distance shorter than the focal length from the mirror and move it away? Just now we discussed. You just see the tabular form, will get the answer. And at what position of concave mirror can produce virtual and erect image? So by using concave mirror, at which position you get virtual and erect image? That is also there in the table only. Third question, sixth question. At what position of concave mirror the size of the object and size of the image will be same? I hope many of you got this answer for this. At what position of the concave mirror the size of the object and size of the image will be same? So these are the 3 questions. You can take it as a homework and do it by next class. In next class we are going to learn about how to draw the ray diagrams for concave mirror. Next one, what are the rules to draw the ray diagram? Then third one, image formations by concave mirror for different positions of the object. And all the 3 questions, this is a 4-mark answers and this is also a 4-mark answer. How to draw the ray diagrams is 2-mark answer. So this is the fundamental question for these 2. So all of the 3 are very important in point of board exam. I hope everybody followed this lecture and get ready with the questions, and moreover go through all the lesson from lecture 1 to lecture 2 and try to get the concepts, definitions, and get ready for the next class. Next class we are going to do all this. For the better understanding of the next class, you need to thorough with the previous topics, lecture 1 and lecture 2. As I told you before, this first lesson is the basic lesson for the lesson 4, refraction of light at curved surfaces, and 5th lesson, human eye and colorful world. These 2 lessons based on the concepts of these, because here we will learn pole, center of curvature, focal length, radius of curvature, normal, angles, laws, everything we will be knowing in this lesson. But the next lesson, 4th and 5th lessons, there will be no definitions and no concepts again. We will be learning all these here, so that direct concepts based on refraction and human eye, it will go on like that. So my sincere advice and request you to prepare a notes and learn this class thoroughly, especially the definitions, and try to understand the concepts. Right? I hope you understood this class, and we will meet you again with the next class concepts. Until then, stay home, stay safe, learn all the classwork, prepare a classwork, learn all the topics. Thank you and have a nice day.